Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Steven Jackson, aka Captain Jack, who told a great story on how basically he stood his ground and in a situation where he basically didn't buckle and he held it down and he did a G move that some people will think of as okay, that wasn't cool, oh that was wrong, but at the end of the day, he did what he felt was necessary to protect himself and his assets. Because at the end of the day, when somebody clearly is stalling you and they just trying to play these games up into the moment of truth, and basically you gave them opportunity after opportunity to put this in order and do what they were supposed to do and what they agreed to do. Well, you know, basically she, tried to basically, call it, basically she tried to have a stalemate. Basically, she tried to try him. She basically thought that he would just go and do what he was supposed to do. And basically, she thought she could pull a fast one. Now, in case you guys don't know, Steven Jackson was once set to marry reality star Amani Showalter. And basically, he left her at the altar, on their wedding day because she didn't do what she promised to do. And basically, she tried to stall him out all the way up into the wedding day. Now, she has a son with Steven Jackson, and basically, they were to get married. They was going to get married in Texas. Um, she agreed to sign a prenup. Everything had been worked out. She agreed to sign the prenup, and basically, what she tried to do to Steven Jackson was just stall him out to the wedding, and basically thought he was just gonna be like, fuck it. And he said basically she tried to pull a fast one, not only before the wedding, at the wedding, and basically after he canceled the wedding. Basically, what happened was, for months leading up to the wedding, she had agreed to sign a prenup. Everything had been worked out. The details have been worked out, and basically, she agreed to sign it. And basically, Steven Jackson had the papers drawn up, and basically, she kept stalling when all she got to do is sign her name. Basically, I guess in Texas, you have to pre work out the details and then get it drawn up. And then she signed it because basically, I think you just can't present nothing to, for a prenup. You have to pre negotiate. In California, you could just say, hey, I need you to sign a prenup. You basically can have the papers drawn up and you can explain to them right then and there, and they had the option of signing it. But I guess in Texas, it has to be pre-agreed upon, and then you had the papers drawn up. So basically, she knew what was going on. She agreed to it. But basically, what she kept doing was she tried to stall them out. Now, basically, Steven Jackson paid like $400,000 for this wedding, and basically she tried to pull a fast one by trying to bring in a certain pastor that, well, basically one of her friends tried to recommend. And you know how that is, where you had a nosy friend that can't mind her own business that basically insert herself into the mix. So basically what happened was she tried to get this pastor, and I'll get to what type of pastor this dude was. He tried to pull a fast one on Steven Jackson. Basically, it was coerced, it was concocted. Basically, it was planned. She basically had no intentions on signing that prenup. So basically, uh, for weeks, possibly months leading up to the wedding, she kept promising to sign it, and every time he kept asking her, she kept saying, "Oh, I'm gonna sign it. I'm gonna sign it." So basically, on the eve of the wedding, once again, he asks her to sign the prenup, and she says, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." Now, me myself, I would have said right then and there, okay, she don't have no intentions on signing this. I would have told her straight up, I need you to sign this right now or it won't be no wedding. Straight up. I would have handed it to her. If she would have said, I'm signing, I'm going to say, why can't you just sign it now? If she refused to sign it right then and there, let me tell you guys something. If she refuses to sign it basically on the eve of the wedding, she has no intentions on signing it. Why would she wait till the last minute and sign it on the day of the wedding? She don't have no intentions on signing it. So basically, he say Mike Bibby and and Stephon Marbury at the wedding. He say basically they trying to figure out what's going on, and basically, it get to them that she's stalling and she playing these games. So basically, they like, oh man, forget that, man, don't go through with it. So he tried to get his auntie once again, minutes before the wedding started. Minutes before the wedding started, to sign it, and she won't sign it. So basically, Steven Jackson says, okay, I'm not going through with the wedding. So all of a sudden, here's the kicker. Now keep in mind, she don't want Steven Jackson's pastor that he didn't had since he was like a kid. She wanted this pastor that I think that was out of New York. So it was like a setup from the gate. So the pastor telling him, hold on, don't make a decision. So he uses the God card that God told him to go talk to him. And God told him that he should go through with the wedding. And God, he talking to him through God, how he don't believe in prenups and basically how you shouldn't force somebody to sign a prenup. So basically, they tried to finesse him. So she brought in some pastor that don't believe in signing a prenup. Basically, they tried to set him up. They tried to co-op him. So basically, if that was me, I would have told that pastor, hey man, this ain't none of your business. The only thing you supposed to do is marry us and whatever, take your fee, and it ain't your place. And I could tell Steven Jackson probably in a certain way said that to him. But basically, she brought in a pastor that don't believe in prenup, and he tried to do the God told me to talk to you through him. He basically tried to pull that on Steven Jackson, and Steven Jackson was like, well, God told me don't go through with this wedding unless she signed this prenup. So basically, he figured it out. So I guess he told the pastor to go on about his business. So then he says, she says she wants to talk to him. So then she says, okay, I'll sign it. I'll sign it. And then he says, nah, that's a trap too. Cause I guess this is anywhere, you know, a lot of times people can sometimes fight prenups because they can say, oh, well, I didn't know what I was signing. Cause Barry Bonds went through a certain thing, when he was married to I think that Caucasian woman. She pulled that, oh, she didn't know what she was signing, and then it was a big hoopla over that. So basically she could pull that she signed under stress, and she didn't know what she was signing, and she got forced to sign it and all that type of stuff. So then basically they can declare the prenup null and void, and then she's entitled to half of his stuff. I don't know if in Texas they got the entitled half entitlement. Now she from New York. Steven Jackson is from Port Arthur, Texas. In case you guys don't know, Port Arthur, Texas is roughly, because I've been to Houston before, Port Arthur is roughly around, I say around about an hour maybe from Houston. So basically she tried to finesse him. She tried to weasel her way out of not signing the prenup, and she tried to bring in this pastor that basically after they got married, I guess he was going to try to give him the pep talk about how you need to trust your wife and all that stuff. And he basically said, hey, me and you in different tax brackets. So yeah, she tried to pull a fast one. So she basically rolled the dice and basically she crapped out. So that should be a life lesson. Don't play these type of games though. But anyway, let me know what you think. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.